This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're so excited to have all of you join us here today. Happy Saturday to all of those here in the West Side, and a good morning to those in the East Side of the world waking up to a beautiful Sunday morning. It is currently 4:04 p.m. Pacific time, 5:04 p.m. Mountain Time, and 7:04 in the Philippines. Welcome to INCRadio Mountain States. I'm your host for today, Sister Princess Rosano, broadcasting from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, with a little bit of wind. Thankfully, the heat, though it's hot, we are getting some breeze. It's kind of like a warm breeze, almost like if you were in a furnace. You just get that whiff of air, but it's just hot. So I would prefer that than just pure dry heat. We also have Ate Ina with us today. Hi, Ate Ina.
Hi, Sister Princess, and hi everyone who are watching today on our live INCRadio Mountain States.
Yes, I'm so excited. The chat is already so engaged with us. So we are going to go say hi to them in just a bit. But just to give an idea of today's topic, if you don't already know, it is a moment to connect. All of you know how much I love topics like this, especially when it comes to connection with other people. So in this episode, we're going to be discussing ways to strengthen personal connections through simple reflections and even a little hands-on activity we'll have later. We're going to highlight how intentional check-ins, big or small, can deeply uplift relationships with families, friends, loved ones, and even our fellow brethren here in the Church of Christ. All right, with today, we just kind of want to slow down just a little to focus on something so simple, but can be very powerful, very impactful. We'll be talking about how checking in, whether with a quick text message, a quick call, or even just sitting quietly with somebody, can really make moments be matterful or impactful and kind of strengthen that connection with other people or the circle we have with those in our lives, right? Especially with things being so busy right now, we sometimes forget how those types of connections are so meaningful and why they matter, right? Especially when it comes to our family, our loved ones, our friends. So please stay with us. We already asked a question in the chat, which we'll check in just a bit. But for those who are in the chat, we thank you so much for your live engagement right now. We have 30 currently watching. If we can double that, that would be even more amazing. So if you are watching on YouTube, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to our INCRadio DCEM 954 YouTube channel, leave your comments, your greetings, answer all the questions we ask in the chat. Ate Ina's in the chat, Ate Macy's in the chat, Sister Nikki will be in the chat. So we have a lot of us in the chat right now. Answer a question so that we could read it throughout the show, see how you're participating with us. And do not forget your hashtag local congregation. I know there were a lot of brethren I saw from Las Vegas. I also see Brother Rod in there. I see some Blue Diamond brethren, Henderson brethren. So thank you so much for staying engaged. That's our way, funny enough, to connect with you, right? So we're talking about connection in this moment to connect. And the live chat is a way that we can stay connected with all of you to make our broadcasts more fun and more inviting and more engaging. So speaking of the live chat, Ate Ina, you did ask a question to the chat. Can we go ahead and hear what that question is and shout out some of the brethren from the congregations who were able to answer it?
Yes, of course. First of all, we would like to acknowledge those who are very early in our live chat today. Of course, Brother Rod from Las Vegas. Woohoo! And we also have Brother Nathan from Las Vegas. Sister Sophia is also with us. Sister Daphne, Sister Eisen, Brother Josh. We also have Sister Alyssa, Las Vegas, Sister Princess, Brother Angelo. We also have Brother Jay Agustin with us, Sister Macy with us. and so much more. I can't mention every one of you, but thank you so much for tuning in. But with that question, so what do you do to reconnect with someone, to your loved ones, family, and to your brethren? Some of them who answered like they like to play, different kinds of games, pool and all that, just to reconnect, those kind of games and other
Mhm.
activities that they can do just to reconnect, and that's really good, and that's
Yeah.
also helpful. And also I can see one here. Sister Eisen said, reconnecting is important because with broken relationships, it can ruin the love of the brotherhood. Is that correct, Ate Princess? Because us here inside the Church of Christ, our brotherhood is very important, and
Mhm.
being having reconnection with them, it's also a simple way of giving them love and care.
Yes, 100%. I know there's so many comments, so I
Yes.
want to give you time to gather them. That way, we can make sure we have awesome comments to read. They're going fast. I can see it in it's just back to back to back. So I'll give you time at the Ina while you're gathering those comments to read later. But for now, while we dive into the topic, let's kind of break it up into sections, right? So we want to talk about connecting, but we want to first touch base on why it's important, reasons to connect and why it matters. So there are different reasons you can connect with somebody or reconnect even, whether it be just checking in to see how their day is doing, celebrating small milestones or even big ones, right? Like I know we just had graduation season. A lot of our Binhi and Kadiwa and even some Baklod were able to graduate, whether it be through high school or college. So that's another reason you would want to connect with somebody to congratulate them. Sometimes our loved ones might be going through difficult times or they're just facing a really hard time. So reaching out to connect to them in that way would be a really great reason to let them know that you're there for them, right? Reconnecting with somebody you haven't spoken to in a while is also another reason to connect, right? When you miss somebody and you realize, oh, wow, it's been months that I haven't spoken to this person or even years, and I'm just thinking of them. Why not just reach out to say, hello, how are you doing? Right? So these are all reasons you can connect with someone. And while you're in the chat, if you have other reasons to share, please tell us why you would want to reach out to somebody or why you would want to connect. Right. But the reasons these matter, right, is when if somebody is celebrating something, we want to be along with them in those big joyous moments. I think, I don't know about you, but I love celebrations. I love to, because usually celebrations entail good food.
Yes,
So
that's
when,
true.
yeah. So when we're celebrating, we're together, it's good food, it's a good time, we're
Good
laughing.
chat.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's always great to celebrate such big milestones. Like I said, like graduation season just concluded, and there's so many things that we can celebrate with these graduates. We can celebrate that they've made it through 4 years of college or they went through graduate school. Those are big, big things that they've accomplished, and I think that it's important to acknowledge that, to give recognition to their hard work, and to be with them to celebrate. What are some reasons you like to connect with people at the INA?
Of course, birthdays,
Oh, yes.
anniversaries, those kinds of, and then of course, as you mentioned, the graduation, it is a big milestone for one
Mhm.
who graduate, either for college, high school, whatever achievements is that. It is very important for them to be recognized and congratulate. I myself would want to have those kind of messages, congratulations, and I really would appreciate if I will be in their place.
Yeah, no, I understand. Usually we are so appreciative of the messages because oftentimes we don't ever really expect it, but it feels so nice for somebody to message us congratulations or wow,
Yes.
good job. It's
Mhm.
not the expectation part. It's really the gratitude that we have that wow, like they're thinking of me. Wow, they
Yes.
really, they remember me. On the opposite side of that spectrum, reaching out to somebody who we know is going through a difficult time is also just as important, even more so, really, especially if they need extra support. Sometimes our families go through hard times, whether it's losing a loved one or even with our younger members in the church, whether they've been here, Kadiwa, if they're having a hard time in school or they failed a test that they thought they studied really hard for, or they did study really hard for, and they just didn't get the grade they wanted. That can really bum some of us out. And, I kind of want to touch on that. Like, oftentimes our younger ones go through things that we used to go through in the past. And for them, it's big experiences for them to go through tough times during school. So reaching out to either our younger siblings or the younger members in the church, that's also important so that we can show that they're not alone, that they are supported. It's so important for their mental health, their mental well-being and emotional well-being to make sure that we uplift them, right, out there?
And who knows, Ate Princess, those who we reach out that we haven't talked with for a long time, we could be enemies before, but if you congratulate them or maybe say happy birthday to them, it's gonna be like those feelings of anger will be gone. It's just for that simple word, isn't it?
Yeah, little frenemies. So no, I get it. So yes, reaching out can always just touch somebody, make them feel grateful, that gratitude. It's always nice to hear from someone, especially when you haven't heard from them in such a long time. I've had friends reach out and vice versa, where I'll reach out to somebody I'm just thinking of in that moment. I actually have my college best friend. We have a thing where we talk to each other at least once a month. It doesn't matter if it's at the beginning of the month, middle, or the end of the month, but we call each other every month. So I think our last call was May, in the beginning of May, and we haven't spoken yet, but it's still June, so we still have time to speak to each other. But we have like our monthly calls, and I feel like that's what keeps us connected and keeps our relationship and our friendship so close. Even with my family, going to help them in person or hang out with them in person if they need help with something. I think just small things like that, just to even dropping off food. Like my older brother, he lives so close, and they just had a baby, and so oftentimes my mom and I will just have food and we're like, can we just drop it off, or can we just stop by? And I just feel so connected to my family whenever we get to just drop by for even like 5-10 minutes.
And with just that simple connection, you can bring up so many stories and reminiscing different kinds of stories that you haven't talked about in a long time. And that makes you feel good. Just like Ate Macy said, never lose connection from people who matter in your life. Always reach out. Do not wait for them to reach out, because who knows, sorry and sadly to say, who knows, one day it'll be the first and last, message or reaching out before it's too late.
No, it's true though. Life is short, and so we want to make sure we take every opportunity, we seize every opportunity we have to connect with the people we love and we care about. If we're going to speak on that a little bit, there was somebody in my life who I met and I got to know, and it had been years that I had spoken to her, and then I recently found out that unfortunately she didn't beat cancer. So for me, I'm grateful for the moments that I got to connect with her, but part of me wishes I got to connect with her sooner. So it's stuff like that you're mentioning, that does make sense, and that does matter to touch light on. Is every moment you have, even when you're just thinking of them. I try my best now, especially because I'm not the best texter. Like I'm very bad at texting immediately, but I feel like if I think of somebody, I try my best to just text them and just say, hey, thinking of you, hope you have a great day, just so that we can say, hey. Yeah, exactly.
And Ate Princess, this just popped up in my mind. Thinking about those, older brethren that we have in our locale, and maybe some in your locale too, and other locales. So, and then Brother Rod just popped up on a message, says maybe I should reconnect to some old acquaintances from the past. So we're like thinking the same. Thinking of them, that especially this one goes to those Kadiwa and Binihi. So even though they are, our grandparents or older people or older brethren, make sure that we say hi, hello po. It means a lot to them that you reconnect with them. You say something to them. It makes them feel good, especially to those that are in their older age, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes, no, 100%. So speaking of that, I do want to go ahead and do a little activity regarding this. Okay. It's a little MTS challenge. So for those of you who are at home, if you have a paper and pencil, paper and pen, take it out right now. At the Ina has one and I have one right here. And so what I did here, it's just a little activity, is I folded my paper, I tri-folded it so it's in 3 sections like this, and then I turned it and I folded it again. So what you're going to want, sorry, I know I did that so quickly. So, but all it is you just take a regular paper or
Yeah.
whatever you have. You wouldn't even have to fold it really, but you just want to make 9 squares or 9 sections. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write down 3 names, 1 name in each box. Then you're going to use 3 words to describe each person. And you're going to describe one way you're going to connect with each of them, whether it's the same way to connect with them. But I highly suggest if you can think of 3 different ways to connect with them, that way it makes it more of a challenge. So I'm going to do this on air live with all of you. I know that Ina is going to do it. So the first person I thought of was my mom, but I talk to her all the time and we I feel like I need to like connect with somebody I haven't in a while, you know? So who am I going to connect with? Do you have somebody in mind, Ina, that you're going to connect with? I'm writing
As
my
a princess, I've been wanting to reconnect or connect with my sister. I know we always talk, we always see each other, but with the deep talk that you should be talking about, especially she went to London or Europe for a vacation and met with my family there, and I haven't
Mhm.
talked to her since, asking her what happened, the stories. So I would like
Aw.
to ask those stories, of course, with the family members that she reconnected with there. And
Aw.
I believe it's going to be an awesome story, and, reminiscing those memories that we could
Yeah,
possibly be.
I love that.
Yes.
I'm surprised I put my 3 people already. But actually, they're technically 4, but one of them is in a category together. So the person I need to connect with, the one I mentioned earlier, my college best friend. We're hitting the end of June and I haven't reached out to her and vice versa. So I need to call her. So I put her name down. Her name is Izzy. And the 3 words I use to describe her is caring, passionate, and I need one more word to describe her. She is what's a one word that I could say, like she's very put together. Like she's very, what's a word? One word to say, like she has everything together. Like she knows what she's doing in life. I don't know. I don't
Complete.
know. Complete. I'm just gonna put complete. Yeah, I'm very inspired by her. When she sets her mind to something, she really sets her mind to it and then she does it. So, and then I'm going to reach out by calling her because that is what I need to do. So that's one person, and that's how I put it. So I don't know if it's too visible here. So I put her name. So I put my
Wow.
sister too. You inspired me to reach out to my sister. She's actually in town, so I need to
Nice.
go hang out with her. She lives in California though, but I put my best friend from college, Izzy. I put caring, passionate, and complete. It's a little blurry. I apologize. Let me get my face out the way. And then I'm gonna call her. So I put that. You have to share one of yours, Ina.
I haven't write down so much, but I will just say it verbally.
Okay.
Um, so I have, of course, my sister, and I mentioned that one already, and of course, my husband,
Yes.
which we should reconnect all the time. Communication is
Yeah.
very good for a marriage.
Yes.
If you don't have any communication, talking about what has been, even just like how's your day been,
Yes.
we should always ask those questions just to reconnect, just
Mm-hmm.
just to feel love, you care, what happened in your day and all that. And so I did that actually yesterday with
Oh, I
him,
love
and it
that.
feels so good that you're releasing those toxins that you have inside, whatever
Yeah.
anxiety, whatever pressure, whatever, anything that's going on in you, and you can release it to him, you can release it to somebody else who can understand, right?
Yeah.
And
Make
that way
space.
they can also give you advice, and at the same time it can relieve you with those
Yes.
what's going on in your life.
Yes, even
And
if they like don't give advice, sometimes
yeah.
like with my mom, I'll just our connection time is when we eat. Like we always eat together, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and that's our time to just chat. And sometimes I'll tell her stuff, but it's not like in the with the intent of okay, like mom, like I need you to tell me what to do. Most of the time it's like that, but there there's like a 5% chance that I usually vent to her just to like release what you said, like
Mhm.
everything that's kind of inside. I just
Yes,
need to let it out to
let
somebody who can
out.
hold space.
Even
Yeah,
just to listen, it would make a difference.
a hundred
And
percent.
at the princess, so many chats here, so many
Yes,
messages.
please read some of them. There's so
So
many.
Brother Rod says like he just reconnected with Sister Samantha. You guys are so funny. So they just texted each other and boom, yeah, they reconnected.
Love
and
that.
and it was so great seeing everyone that are on the chat today. And also, Brother Anthony Arongay says, before the district-wide EVM yesterday, I called my former co-worker to see how he's been and to invite him to the EVM. Oh, that's really, really great. But he was ready. Glad that I caught that he accepted my invitation. There you
Oh
go. That's very good.
wow.
And also some greetings po at the princess from Sister Michelle Barilea. Happy birthday to Sister Lexi and belated happy birthday to Brother Nathan from West Las Vegas. There you go. Happy birthday to
Yay.
everyone who are celebrating. Sister Sophie Kaba says, I share my faith and feelings with them, play games and etc. Communication really helps the community, just like what we're talking about.
Yes.
Um, and I also have here Brother Mario Oka, who's been our avid viewers. Good morning here in the Philippines. It's very early there. And enjoy watching here on INC Radio Mountain States. Greetings from local of Brixtonville, District of Caloocan North. Thank you so much for watching
Wow.
today in early morning. And lastly, I have here, I mean, not last, but there's so much more. Brother Anthony said, we called one of our longtime friend from Guam yesterday. He and his family are suffering from the sudden loss of his sister. He's been distracting himself with work. He really appreciated us calling. Those simple calls, simple
Yeah.
text would mean so much to those who are in need.
Yes, I actually have one that was sent in from Sister Sam Ilagan. She said, I had a friend that we would go for months without talking, but he would always say, I'm just down the road. It's a little imaginary. That means I'm a text away. So I think like knowing that that one, if you're the one saying that you're providing that space for somebody to come to you whenever they need you, and two, if you're not on the receiving end, where you're hearing somebody say that to you, it feels nice to know like I have somebody who's on my side, who's in my core, who's supporting me no matter what. So really being able to connect and have that open communication with other people and anyone in our circle, it's so important. And we can do it in such little ways, right? And we just talked about like just calling, texting.
Yeah.
You can do like weekly check-ins, or like with families. I know some families who have their family meetings when they have their Sunday family hour,
Mhm.
or when they have their devotional together. That's a good way to connect with your family. For me, because I mentioned I'm terrible at texting, I really love phone calls, and I also like sending audio messages because I usually have a lot to say. so sometimes it's too much to type, and I just want to get all of my words out, even if it's all
Yeah.
kind of scrambled. So like that, I'll just be able to like send an audio message. And so with this, it provides that, again, that space for us to be able to connect together, and it strengthens our friendship. I don't know what other way it would go. Like, there's no bad end of this to feel like you can, or to reconnect itself, right? At the end,
Mhm.
being able to connect will always have a good outcome, because you're just telling people, hey, you're on my mind, I'm thinking of you, I'm supporting you. I've even told friends It's so funny. I ran into somebody from high school. I went to get coffee and I was kind of like studying and doing my work while I was waiting for coffee. And I saw an old high school friend that I haven't seen since graduating high school. So it's over a decade.
Yeah.
And I see her on social media. I don't really message her or anything. I kind of just see like what she does and, her accomplishments and milestones. But I thought of like, hey, like so I said hello to her and it took her a while to like recognize me. And she goes, oh, and I was like, yeah, like I see what you're doing. Like you post all these really cool things and
Yeah.
your accomplishments. And I just want to say, like, I'm silently rooting for you. Like, even though I don't always message you or anything, like, please know, like, I'm in your corner, like, rooting for the best for you. And it was just that small moment of connection that I felt really happy that I said hello. And I'm pretty sure, on her end, hopefully it was nice on her end to just chit chat for like the 5 minutes that we had before I left with my coffee and
Right.
stuff. So I love
So
that.
let's make a deal with our live viewers right now. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and chat, message those who you love, your friends that you want to reconnect with for a long time. Let's do it, before it's too late.
Yes.
Let's do it right now while we're talking about this kind of topic. So before we forget.
Yes, I know. Before you forget, INC radio show today is over. But before, or actually while you're all doing that, we do want to check in with our What's Up Mountain States. We want to see all these activities that Mountain States have been doing or have been able to hold. So, Kuya Tech, whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and play our What's Up Mountain States to see what Mountain States has been up to.
What's up, Mountain States?
Yes, what is up, Mountain States? We recently had our Tagisan ng Talino, which was held on Sunday, June 15 at 2:30. This was at our library, Eastside Library, near our Las Vegas House of Worship. And it featured the sites of Las Vegas, Albuquerque, Colorado Springs, Phoenix, Tucson, and Salt Lake City. And it's so awesome to see all of our young brothers and sisters in our children's worship service, be able to participate in an activity like this to show, what they've been studying, how hard they've been working to be able to compete here. It was so awesome. And we got to see so many local congregations fully support the young brethren. And it's always nice to see moments like this and see how supportive they are of, their fellow brother who's participating. And so, it was a really exciting event. And I know that the CWS, our Children's Worship Service participants, had so much fun participating in this. Being able to participate even virtually is a big thing because, it's a way, again, connection. That's how we all connect with Mountain States. We have multiple states, and being able to connect virtually was a really awesome way for us to get together and hold this activity and complete, our TNT, or the Gisan ng Talino. So it was so awesome. Look at Utah here, Brother Lance. It's so great. So I'm so happy for all of our participants, especially with the young children in our CWS. So congratulations to all of those who were able to participate, for those who were able to win. And we hope that everyone can come the next time we have this. Another activity we had here is the sign language seminar, which was food science, and a cooking tutorial. So this is really cool. Again, another activity put together by our Christian Society for the Deaf, being able to teach these food science, to be able to do this tutorial. I think we're on a little bit of a pause here. I'm not sure if that's just on my end, but it was really great to see all of the brethren again participate in this activity. While this is featured, I know it's just kind of stuck here on the promo. I didn't mention the champions of our TNT. That's something that's important. So the winners of the TNT, okay, the second runner-up was Zechariah from Phoenix. So I believe that's Ate Crisette's son. So congratulations.
Yeah,
The first runner-up was Sister Amaya at the Macy's
Yay!
daughter. And then our champion winner was, you saw when I mentioned, Brother Lance from Salt Lake City. So
Yay!
congratulations to all of the winners. It's so important. I needed to mention that. So it's okay if our What's Up Mountain States is no longer showing Korea Tech. You can just put it back on us. But just know, everyone, that Mountain States is active and that we have so many activities and so exciting. So while we were going through that, I really hope you took Ate Ina's advice and connected with somebody in the moment that we had. We had like 2-3 minutes to spare. It doesn't take too much time, And Ate Ina, the importance of connecting is, it really does matter. And it's applicable in all aspects of our life, right? Whether it be with family, with our friends, our loved ones. But more importantly, when it comes to being members of the church and even officers, right? With meaningful connection, it doesn't require a grand gesture, just a willing heart and a few intentional moments. Again, like whether it's a quick text or a shared laugh, these moments remind us that we're never alone. When it comes to performing as officers, making sure the brethren know that we're there to support them. And even with brethren and brethren, that you're all supporting each other, with officers supporting one another, uplifting each other to better ourselves in the performances of our duties. Because ultimately, when we perform together, we worship together, we unite together, that does strengthen our connection with one another, and all the more continues to strengthen the love of the brotherhood and our connection to our Almighty God. So we're so, so grateful that all of you were able to join us. Our chat is still going off. Why don't we do a last few more shout outs, Ate Ina? Do you have some? I know they keep going.
I know. So Sister I'm not sure. Sister or brother MJ Jag, sorry, I apologize, is also with us. And our brother Gary Elegan is also with us. Says, shout out to all Las Vegas brethren. I'm so proud of you guys. And most of our Las Vegas brethren, Sister Jessica, who was with Amaya when it was Tagues and Antalino, says, congratulations, Sister Amaya. We're so proud of you, and all of the Las Vegas brethren who were so proud of our dear sister Amaya. And I am so proud myself of my dear niece.
Of course.
And
how could you not
it was
be?
so fun being with that activity, seeing those kids growing up knowing the words of our Almighty God, which is really, really, really important. So thank you so much to those who took part in taking care of that CWS Taguig and Antalino. I really appreciate that. And Brother Anthony Arangay also says, we've known the Ilagan family, since we're talking about Brother Gary, since our days in Texas. It was so nice that Gary was sent to preach in Salt Lake City. There you go. But last Thursday, we were able to have a few hours and have dinner with them. There you go. The Arangay family, we're so thankful for Brother Gary that you've been with them, and also all of the Salt Lake City family for sure. Sister Princess.
Of course. Then, of course, thank you to our beloved ministers who have tuned in, like Kagari and Kajay, who was here earlier, and all of the other beloved ministers here in the District of Mountain States. We thank you so much for your support, as well as all of you who are currently tuned in. But of course, we want to say a special thank you to our beloved church administration for allowing us to be able to hold broadcasts such as this. Brother Eduardo Manalo, our executive minister, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo, our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Manly Andaya, our Executive Producer, Brother Barrington Thompson, our District Minister, Brother Oliver Canlas, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Jay Agustin, our CFO Overseer, our District Multimedia team, and all of the avid listeners here on INCRadio. That is all the time that we have for today's show. We highly, highly encourage you to please share this video to your friends and family as a way to connect with them and to connect here with us on INCRadio Mountain States. We're so grateful, and thank you so much for watching and for listening to INCRadio Mountain States. Please continue to stay tuned here on INCRadio DZEM 954, changing lives through God's words. Up next is INCRadio Canada.
And we would like to say thank you to those who are our top locals in the live chat. Las Vegas and West Las Vegas, thank you so much for tuning with us. Woohoo!
Thank you. Have a great day.
Till next time.